Welcome back, everybody. What we're going to do today is go over how to make your Magpul stock California compliant. Here in California, we have numerous ways to configure our weapons now to make them California legal. This is just one way to basically to secure your Magpul stock without drilling a hole through it and through your buffer tube to secure it. Okay, this is a reversible fix, so you can save the parts that we take out, and should the laws here in California get a little more loose per se, or rewritten, you can always go back to your standard adjustable Magpul stock. Now, for the example today, we have a Magpul MOE. Now, this kit will work on all Magpul stocks, MOE, CTR, ACS, SLRs, all of them, because Magpul uses a modular adjustment pin on it. So this tool will work on all of them, just a little bit of different way to install it, and we'll go over that a little bit further into the video as well. First thing you're going to need is the kit, which consists of 3 parts: roll pin, adjustment pin, and your guide rod. You're going to need a couple of punches. Don't know what you guys have for punches, so I just grabbed my 3 smallest punches that I have there, and a small hammer. First thing that you're going to do is you want to get the stock to the position that you're going to lock it in, because once it's locked up, it's no longer adjustable. So you want to mark it some way with a pencil or something, or whatever way you want to mark it. Go ahead and mark it so you know where your final resting point's going to be, and make sure you shoulder it there so that it's exactly where you want it. Okay. First thing you're going to do is you're going to grab a small punch, and you're going to see the little bitty tiny roll pin that goes through the buttstock there. You're going to want to drive that out, and you can do that by putting it over one of the plastic wedges that you can get at Brownells or someplace like that. They come out real simple. Just drive it out. Now, there is a spring alert here, so put your one of your fingers over this when you take your punch out, because you're going to have a spring that pops out. Okay, that's the spring right there. You're not going to need this anymore, so you can discard of that. Now, if your guide rod doesn't want to come out all the way, it's because that your roll pin hasn't been driven out all the way. So go ahead and drive it out a little bit more until it pops out. I don't like driving it out so much that you actually remove it from the buttstock, so it could still be in there while you have your guide rod out. So that guide rod goes away. This guide rod that was in the stock already stays there. Okay, so you go ahead and install that back into the buttstock right there, and you're going to notice that these 2 new parts look a lot like your old parts that you were using. Okay, so this goes back in. Your guide rod goes in, the angled portion goes towards the hand grip. Okay, so it's going to drop into place there, and it's going to lock up in the buttstock. So you're going to want to make sure that is your final resting point. Then you put the lockup rod through the guide rod. Okay, so it's going to look like this inside the stock. Okay, this is going to go right through the center, and it's actually going to align just like that inside the guide rod. Okay, so the notch on it, it's going to allow it to intersect exactly like that. Okay, so your guide rod's going to go in first, angle towards the hand grip, and it's going to lock into your desired position. Okay, this rod goes in second, and it's going to go in with the notch going up towards the roll pin. This little guide rod drops right in. Okay, and to make sure that it's in there, you kind of want to make sure that it's seated and that the roll pin can go through and not hit it, and that the guide rod here is locked up. Okay, take your ball peen hammer, knocks right in. Okay, so now your buttstock is no longer adjustable. It's locked right where you wanted it. Okay, now these locking tabs are going to work on all of the Magpul stocks. You just have to do them a little bit differently. The CTR here basically is what you're going to want to do is knock the roll pin out of the brake, of the friction brake here, and just knock it all the way out. Okay, this one here, pop the front off first, and then it kind of rolls out. And if you notice here, same exact setup. Just knock your roll pin out here, and it's going to assemble the same way. When you're putting it back together, the back slides in first, and it drops right into place. Take your roll pin, right back into place. Okay. Now, with your ACS stocks, these basically are going to work identical to the CTRs, but you have to remove the storage compartments here to access this roll pin. Once this roll pin's out, the brake comes out, the friction brake, which is this right here. Your new parts are going to install exactly the same way. So on the ACS style stocks, these two Allens are going to come out, rear backing plate's going to come out. Your storage compartments, there's actually a roll pin in the back of these back here. Okay, and it's right there. Okay, you want to knock that out, and then these are going to drive right out the back. Okay, simple, and it's going to bring you to California compliant. So hope this was enough for you guys to understand it. But like I said, these little parts work on all of the Magpul stocks, all of the everything except for the UBR and the PRS. So they're available on our website. Check them out.